Hey everyone, welcome to episode 16 of Armbars Sidebars. Today we are joined by a star seen and heard in numerous pro wrestling promotions. He's been involved in wrestling for over 2.5 decades, known for his time in Omega, NWA Wildside, the Lightning One era of the National Wrestling Alliance, Ring of Honor, and AEW. Caprice, sir, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh man, thank you for having me. How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm thrilled to talk with you. It's just, I already told you off camera, but Sal Renaro, who is, a channel favorite, he always speaks so highly of you, and I've been a fan of your work, so it's great to have you here. I really appreciate it.
I love Sal, man. Like I said before, I've known him since he was a teenager, and now he's a grown man married with children, and I love him.
All right, before we get into the interview, I always want to just get the plugs up front, and then at the end, that way people know where to find you, people know where to check you out. Where can people find you?
Well, man, I'm easy to find. I'm on Twitter, Caprice Coleman. I just got my Instagram page back up. I got hacked and all everything got shut down. I lost everything, so I'm kind of like in the rebuilding stages with Instagram, and so I got the Instagram, and I think that's it. I'm on TikTok as well. All of it's Caprice Coleman or the Caprice Coleman.
And of course, check out his Pro Wrestling Tees store. We will have links to everything in the description of every video, this full video and the individual clips. So guys, be sure to click, show some support, follow, buy a shirt, and check out Ring of Honor. Okay, so I like to start right from the beginning. This is the generic question, but I don't know. I grew up in the shoot interview era, so it's always interesting to me. When did you first see professional wrestling, and what were your initial thoughts on it? Were you a fan right away? Did not become a fan until later?
Oh man, I was an instant fan. I remember I was less than 5 years old, and I turned on the TV, and I don't even know if it was Georgia Championship Wrestling or NWA, but it was Dusty Rhodes, and he was, I think, feuding with Barry Windham or something like that, and they was talking about the devil in the boot. And man, I was hooked ever since because I think being hooked on like superheroes, Superman or whatever like that to me, watching pro wrestling was like watching superheroes fight, and then I didn't have a father figure at the time, so it was kind of like father figure type, the male role model type thing as well. So yeah, I was
That's
probably less than 5 years old.
That's super fascinating because you're totally right when it comes to like the superhero comparisons. I wasn't always a big superhero fan. Like as a kid, I watched some cartoons, and then I actually got into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the movies later on, and you can just see the parallels. Like what wrestling is in many ways is just like live superhero movies that you can attend in person.
A million percent.
And then you talked about Dusty Rhodes, and I'm gonna guess we'll get into the favorite wrestlers in a second, but I'm guessing he stood out to you right away just because of that charisma and personality.
Well, absolutely. The funny thing is, like Dusty Rhodes, he walked like me and talked like me, but he didn't look like me, and so it was blonde hair and curly, blue eyes and curly blonde hair, and I was like, man, he sounded like my uncle. Yeah. Yeah, so he definitely got my attention.
So just the fact that you kind of relate to that, even though it was different, was
Yeah,
probably an immediate thing that was like, oh wow, okay, so someone I
yeah, it
kind of
was like this,
know.
this white dude out here talking jive. This is cool.
Fantastic.